citizen who is worried with what is going on with the census case. 1. If the case starts at 10 a.m., that will be an exception than a rule. 2. Notwithstanding the fact that the proceedings would have started at 10 or even 10:45, there will be a request for a short adjournment at 11:15. 3. The said short adjournment will be meant to take 15 minutes, but same will take up to 25 minutes or so. 4. And then at 1 o'clock, 1300 hours, there will be a request for a long adjournment until 1400 hours, that is 2 o'clock. And this must take 15 more minutes. 5. At 3 o'clock or 3:30 latest, there will be a request for an adjournment for the day. And then of course it talks about, JP, what are the standing orders regarding hours that needs to be spent at high courts? Have we forgotten that there are families that need closure, both the bereaved and the suspects? At this rate, how much more will the said families and interested people have to wait before the outcome is known? Senzo's father passed on without knowing who killed his son. His mother too is not young anymore, and it looks like the same fate is awaiting her. I am hereby pleading for your intervention in this regard. You know, the JP sent this thing to me on Friday at home. He says, well, I trust you are well, meaning me, Brarata. Please see correspondence below for your attention. You know what X me? This guy is basically saying we don't work.
Well, he's entitled to his opinion.
No, but he mustn't then write this thing. He must, because the JP, it says it's for my attention. This gentleman says, once you have got in here at 10 o'clock, you must get out at 4 o'clock. You mustn't even go to the toilet.
That's what they say.
Yeah. You mustn't go to the toilet. You mustn't go for tea. You mustn't be sick. And then also he's basically saying,
doesn't understand.
yeah, no, I know he doesn't. But you see, this is what happens in this country of ours. He doesn't understand that if you call a witness, Mr. Baloi, like Steenkamp from George, if he misses a plane, we are just in a bad situation. We have to start when he comes at 11. You see, now he doesn't even understand that there are prisoners here who must be processed at Mampuru, Leokop, and Modabi. With him, everybody must be here at 10. I think he must be a president of South Africa because...
Well, in the perfect world, everything works, according to clockwork, but, there are some inherent problems, like the accused haven't arrived.
Yeah, that's it. Like Mr. Ngomezulu was sick here in court. He says, no, once he's sick, you must push on. It's his business.
Yeah,
that's basically push on Jalo Muslimun.
And, witnesses get tired. They need to take
Pinky
a refresher break. Yes. Yeah.
The lady who was having flu, when she was giving evidence here, even trying.
Yes.
According to this guy, if we say she must go and attend to her health to a doctor, we are wasting time. She must push on. Like Brigadier Geninda now is writing exams. According to this gentleman, you are not supposed to write exams.
Well.
You must just come here at 10 and get out at 4.
The same best copies that
No, it's just X me. You can accuse me of anything but checking work. I can tell you, other judges, for instance, they would have insisted if they're retired like me, because the regulations say if you're staying more than 50 kilometers from court, the government must give you a car. and the government must give you a chauffeur. And in a case like this, they would also give you a security. I drive myself here every day. Every day. And then here's this gentleman, notice here, just read it, Mr. Nis, to the record, into the record.
And the reason why we adjourn and 3:30 is on record is
Yeah,
for security
he knows.
reasons. We can't sit beyond 3:30.
Like if your client, one of your clients says he wants a comfort break, according to this gentleman, no, I must refuse. Or if one of your clients, like the other day, I think Mr. Mamalo's client, I don't remember well, was sick. And we had to adjourn because he had to be attended by a doctor. But this gentleman says, that mustn't happen. Yeah, no, but he says, once singing a 10, you don't go for tea, you don't go for lunch, you don't go for comfort breaks. You press on. Because if I tell you this thing, if I don't show you this letter, you'll think I'm making up the story. And I'm sure even recess, we must plow on.
Now, one of the accused is not yet here, accused number 1.
And I hope this gentleman is here in court. If he's here in court, I wish he can stand up and tell us why he says we are not working. Because it's basically saying we're not working. Now give it to the press also. Let him read. Hold on. The reporter behind you. Hi, Nisi. Niga, if press.
Adam Nisi.
Yeah. Oh, is the other Nisi? No, give him that. Give him that. He must read. Oh. No, this is unfair. You know, we've spent so much time pushing this case. And we are now being accused of dereliction of duty, of being lazy, of being obstreperous.
I mean, we're almost on the last witness for the state. I mean, this shows we've been through a trial within a trial, 5
No,
accused,
doesn't care.
5 legal representatives.
No, that doesn't matter. And the JP doesn't know that I have publicized this letter in court. But me being me, I thought it's proper to do it so that people must know that there are other people here who say we must not have any humanitarian rights. I mustn't go to tea, I mustn't have lunch, no comfort break. Once you are in, you are in. If a witness who flies from George or East London is supposed to come here, he's left by the plane, he must be here at 10. If he's not here, I don't know what should we do. We mustn't start. Or what? Or start with another witness.
I think my lord, proper justice cannot be measured in terms of time.
No.
Proper justice depends on what is convenient for the parties.
Yeah, quite.
And that's how justice is dispensed. And not according to what is contained in the letter.
Yeah, just interpret it for the.
Kunomuntu la kunesikhathi esiningi yena sokuthi kabhale nje okusekhanda kuyena. So ubhelele-ke umengameli wamajaji ethi yena-ke ukhathazekile indlela esisebenza. Phofu kuyakathi indlela esebenza ngayo ngoba uthi-ke asisebenzi. Uthi uma singenile la kunama 15 minutes athathwayo, kunama hour athathwayo. Ngamaningi nje uthi nje yena akusetshenzwa la kule nkantolo. Akaziwa ke ukuthi ubani kodwa nje umuntu uthathe isikhathi sakhe ke esiningi anaso wabhala ke konke lokhu akubhalile la ukhalela lapho uma kuphunyiwe ngo1 kuzobuywa ngo2 kuzoqedwa ngo3 noma ngo3:30 kuyaphunywa ngo11:15 kuzobuywa ngo3:30 noma ke emuva kwalokho. Ngithi nje angazi kodwa umuntu nje obhale yonke lento.
Now he's got his name there, but that one we won't publicize.
No, I want.
And basically, he doesn't even know that sometimes we plow through the tea break. He says when I go for the tea break, I come after 25 minutes. I don't know. If at all I come back. Like the other day, your clients were not Ms. Mshololo and Mr. Ngoma, Mr. Nisi. We had to give them time to consult with their advocates for the application against the correctional services. According to this gentleman, I shouldn't do that.
And that turned out Balot to be in the best interest of accused number 3 because the application was granted in his favor.
I'm just saying.
In his favor.
Yeah. But he says we start at 10 and we get out at 4. No lunch, no tea break, no comfort break, nothing. No being sick. Otherwise, we don't work. Doesn't know sifunani. Where's that thing? Me, you can accuse me of everything except being lazy. You know, I'm the only judge in this division here and in Joburg. During COVID, I was in the criminal court alone. I never took time. There were judges who were saying during COVID, they're postponing the matter, etc., because as you know, during COVID, the cases, you can't run them virtually. You've got to be physically in court. I was here 3 years, not even a day off during COVID. Anyway, where's that note?
The warrant is going to bring it.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Some people think these proceedings are for entertainment, and to keep them busy, and not forgetting that we're here to see that justice is done.
Yeah, okay.
And as we said, we can't
Are we all
really
here now?
measure that in terms of time.
What time is it?
It's 10:15.
Okay, we're 15 minutes late.
But we're here at just before 10, and accused number 1 has just arrived.
Yeah.
Malot, when we adjourned on Friday,
Yeah.
Mr. Ramsepil was about to start cross-examining on Exhibit A198. It's the affidavit of Brigadier Gininda, dated the 3rd of commissioned on the 23rd of October 2020, and the court wanted to find out if or what the page number is on the record. We looked at the record, my lord, and as we pointed out, the affidavit is already on record as
Yes.
Exhibit ZZ,
That's it, yeah.
and the relevant page of the record is page 33 of the proceedings of the 22nd of January 2024.
Okay.
It was canvassed from page 33 on the 22nd of January 2024 up until page 44 of the record of the 22nd of January 2024. Then just one last aspect, my lord, to correct the record. I think Mr. Ramsepele put it to Brigadier Gininda. Oh, he remarked that Brigadier Gininda was mentioning Mr. Absalom Zungu, that is now the father of Constable Zungu, for the first time in evidence in chief. If my memory, I hope I'm not misquoting Mr. Ramsepele. But during the proceedings of the 29th of November 2023 at page 43, and we're just merely correcting the record, my lord.
Okay, yeah.
The following was said at line 13 during post-examination by Mr. Mokgoatlheng. Now, I understand the logic of your answer, but the question still stands. When he was arrested on that is now with reference to accused number 1.
Yeah.
When he was arrested on the 30th, on the J50, let me say, before he was approached by Sergeant Mokgoatlheng and Sadiq and Buthelezi, the state had no evidence against him until such time accused 1 made the confession. Then Brigadier Gininda answered, I disagree, my lord. It is what I am saying. For one to focus on a specific individual, there must be a basis in the form of a statement or intelligence or a source saying this person committed this crime. So you cannot just go and question a person when there is no basis for that person being implicated. Then on page 44, starting from line 1, in fact from the previous page, the last page, Mr. Mokgoatlheng, yes, those are the links towards obtaining what you are saying, but what I am saying, the evidence at that time before his arrest depended on the information of the informer. Is that so? Then Brigadier Gininda answered, no, that is not what I'm saying. I am saying, my lord, when you approach someone, you have to have a base, whether it is information from the source or a statement making certain allegations. All that I'm saying is that there was a reason for us to focus on Mr. Sibiya. So I'm not saying it is a source, because I am now getting the impression as if I'm saying there is a source. And now follows the important part. There is a statement, my lord, in the docket which we disclose to the defense of Mr. Absalom Zungu. It is clearly implicating accused 1 and 2 in this matter, and that is what led us to focus on accused 1 and 2. Then Mr. Mokgoatlheng, Absalom Zungu, as you say, his statement is here, it is discovered. Then finally on page 45, Brigadier Gininda states the following from line 2. There was a base as to why we approached accused 1, because in that statement of this particular person, accused 1 and 2 are implicated as being involved specifically in the killing of Senzo Meiwa. That is all that we just wanted to correct the record. As a court pleases.
Are you satisfied with that, Mr. Ramsepele?
As the court pleases, my lord, indeed I am. And in fact, on Friday, when we left, we even canvassed this, and the brigadier repeated exactly the same utterances, man.
Yeah, okay.
So I am satisfied.
Mshushu sebefunda ke ubufakazi bange-29 kaNovember kunyaka ondlule la asho khona ukuthi ngoba uMr. Ramsepele beshilo ke kufakazi ukuthi bekukokuqala ekhuluma lana ke ngestatement sakhe uAbsalom Zungu kodwa ke kulokho okuqeda ufundwa manje kuyatholakala ukuthi ngoNovember ke kunyaka ondlule ngazo i29 lezi kwakubona ke ubufakazi bakhe ehlonywa imibuzo yena ke uMr Mngomezulu la akhuluma khona ke ngestatement sakhe uAbsalom Zungu la sisho khona ke statement ukuthi ke sikhuluma ngaye umsola wokuqala kanye nowesibili.
As the court pleases, my lord, may I proceed?
Yeah, you may proceed.
Thank you, my lord. Morning, Brigadier.
Morning, Mr. Ramsey.
Now, Brigadier, as I said on Friday, that I have reserved my cross-examination on HH1, which is the annexure to HH, a statement obtained by Colonel Rapadu, and JJ1, a statement obtained by Ms. Grenier, the magistrate at the Boksburg Magistrates Court. And I want to interrogate both statements for what I term markers of reliability and or markers of unreliability, right? Now, let's start by examining Exhibit HH1, which will be the annexure to the statement by...
Just reminded me that
Okay.
he was not reminded about the oath. Sorry.
Also, sorry, it's fine.
Just reminded Brigadier that
Yeah, and
he was
thanks
speaking
for
about-
that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Noted, my lord. Yes.
Okay. So we're starting with Exhibit HH1, the annexure to the pro forma of Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu,
Yes.
obtained on the 19th of June 2020 at Moroka Police Station.
Yes, my lord. I have it in front of me.
Okay. And it starts by saying, during mid-October 2014, I received a call from a friend, Mokgoatlheng, and who was with Mapisa. You see that? Because I want us to take line by line.
Yes, but mine starts on top, where
No, so the one that says,
identifies
I Bongane.
yourself. Yes, that's where it starts.
Yes, it starts there, but I've just gone back to the content.
Or you want us to go straight to the content?
Yes.
All right. Yes, I do see the second paragraph. So
Now it says,
Ngiyabona ke la isho yokhona ukuthi ke maphakathi noOctober 2014 ngathola ucingo ke kumngane uMthokoziseni.
so it says during mid-October 2014, and the point that I want to raise with you is this. In your testimony, you stated that when you spoke to accused number 2 at Carltonville, without any prompting, he knew the date of the 26th of October 2014. Do you recall that evidence?
I do recall that evidence, my lord.
Yebo ngiyakhumbula ubufakazi la ngishilo khona ukuthi inkathi ngikhuluma naye kumsolo wesibili eCarltonville ngingambuzanga noma ngashongo lutho nje yena ke wakhumbula ke ilanga la nge-26 October 2014 ngiyakhumbula ngikusho lokho.
And even Sergeant Mohani testified the same way to say, I was surprised that accused number 2 knew of the date of the 26th of October without any prompting. But now the point that I'm raising is that in this statement it says, during mid-October 2014, and that's on the 19th, the first statement, you can see there that he's not unsure about the date, because if he knew the date, he was going to say on or about the 26th of October. I received a call from a friend, Mokgoatlheng, who was with Mapisa. You see that?
Yes, I see that, my lord. But the context of how we got to the date of the 26th of October 2014, that's surprising, my lord, came after I've put to him, and that's what I said the last time, that I place it to him that I have a reason to believe, information that gives me a reason to believe that he was involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. So there were specifics that were put to him. The name of Senzo Meyiwa was mentioned to him, my lord, but I didn't give him a date. And his response that surprised me is that he then gave me the date. He said, no, I was not involved because on this day, this is the date now where the 26th comes in, I was at work. So, but there was a context that was put in terms of the name of the deceased.
Uyabona ke lana ngoba wena ke ubufakazi bakho ngoba ke naye ke uSergeant Mokgoatlheng washo ukuthi ke engabuzwanga noma engatshelwanga nge-26 umsolo wesibili wavele yena ke walusho washo ke kodwa lana kubhaliwe ukuthi maphakathi ke nendawo ke na ke October ka2014 okusho ukuthi ke nalana ke isiqiniseko wayengenaso kodwa ke uma enikeza ngaleyo date leyo yange-26 ka-October kunemininingwane ke noma ke kunalokho engakusho kuyena ngathi nginesizathu ke sokukholelwa noma ke information enginayo yokuthi ke wena ke wawunengxenye ke ekulaweni kwakho senzo meyiwe yila khona ke azothi yena cha nge-26 ka-October 2014 mina cha ngangisendaweni ethize noma ngangisemsebenzini.
Sorry, just from my understanding.
Yes.
This imputation about the date, it comes from whom?
That was my next
No,
question.
because I thought you were first dealing with HH.
It is HH, my lord.
And who's, it's for, in respect of accused number?
Accused number 2.
Number 2, okay,
Yes.
fine, all right.
And Brigadier, talking about context, my instructions and accused number 2 will tell the court that the context of him talking about the specific date of the 26th of October 2014 is that when you approached him, you asked him where he was on the 26th of October 2014. Hence, this date of the 26th came about. He was replying in the context of you mentioning the date specifically.
No, that's not correct, my lord. Look, if the question was put like that, my lord, I have no reason to change it, because the essence of what became of that discussion is that he said he was at work, and I followed that alibi. So I didn't put a date to him. I only put the allegation that I have a reason to believe that he was involved in this matter. He responded with a date. Had I given him a date, my lord, I'll indicate that I gave him the date and would have followed his alibi if the answer would have been the alibi that he gave us, which was not correct, my lord.
Uma kuwukuthi mina ke kulokhu kushiwo ke manje ukuthi ke ukuthi umsolo wesibili aphendula ngaleyo ndlela ke ukuthi yena ke nge-26 za-October 2014 wayesemsebenzini kungoba ngambuza ke mina ukuthi wayekuphi ke nge-26 cha umbuzo ke angizange ngikubeke ngaleyo ndlela ke ukuthi nje ngasho ke nako ukuthi nesizathu sokuthi ngikholelweke ukuthi wayeyingxenye ke ekulabeni kwakhe ke usenzo yena ke osezonikeza ngedate hayi ukuthi mina ke nganikeza ngayo idate uma kuwukuthi ngangisho kanjalo bengizokusho ke lokho.
Sorry, for the context, Mr. Ramsipili.
Yes.
Are you traversing the statement of the confession of accused number 2?
Yes.
When he says, the first sentence, he says what? During May.
During mid-October.
During October.
Mid-October. He
Mid-October.
said during mid-October 2014.
But then you see why I don't understand the context as you're putting it.
Yes.
Who was the magistrate or the colonel who wrote that statement?
Lieutenant
It was
Colonel
Colonel
Rapapa.
Rapapa.
Right.
Yes.
It's different if it is written by the brigadier himself.
All right.
Are you with me?
I am. my lord.
Yeah, how will that's the context.
All right. Now, accused number 2 will deny as well that he had a friend that is called Mokgoatlheng. And we now know, even from these proceedings, that the person that is known as Mokgoatlheng, it's Mapisa, but in the statement it says, I was with Mokgoatlheng, I was called by Mokgoatlheng, who was with Mapisa.
Yes.
My lord, the statement was taken by Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu, and that was the interaction. So this is what is contained in the discussion between him and Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu.
Umsolo wesibili ke uzophika ke ukuthi yena ke unomnganeko ogama lakhe liwuMthokoziseni futhi ke nanjengoba iqala leli liqhubeka ke sesiyazi ke manje ukuthi ke uMthokoziseni Maphisa kodwa la kubhalwe ukuthi ke ngathola ucingo olubuya kumngane owuMthokoziseni owaye kanye naye uMaphisa. Uthi maphendula ke ukuthi lana umsola wayikhuluma naye uKenya Rapadu ikona ke okwenzeka ke lokuma bekhuluma kubhalwe ngalendlela.
And I do not have evidence, my lord, to say this person, this Mokgoatlheng, does not exist, because no ID number or phone number were given, my lord.
Anginabo ke nobufakazi ukuthi lo muntu obhalwe la owuMthokoziseni akekho noma ke akaphili ngoba ke akukho ke inamba yakhe noma ke ID number ekhona ebhaliwe la.
And that was going to be my next question. That's why I've always said to you, do not anticipate the next question. Just finish your answer and wait for the question to be asked. Because if you answer in that manner, my intention is to finish my course today, but we won't finish.
Noted, Mr. Ramsey.
So my question, as a lead IO, based on this statement and the mentioning of the name Mokgoatlheng and Mapisa, did you then follow up on that evidence for investigative purposes to find out who these persons were that were mentioned there?
Yes, I did, my lord. I did not find, as I said, there's no ID number or phone number that can bring closer. There's not even a surname. So I did follow up, and Mapisa is accused for, as I indicated, that is a name that is associated with the person being mentioned. Mthokoziseni is the one that I could associate. I could not associate with anyone, my lord, as being a friend.
Umthokoziseni lona ke obhaliwe lana njengomngane ke yebo ke ngilandeleleke kodwa ke manje bangishilo ukuthi akuna ID number akuna number lana umuntu angaxhumana naye ke kuyona noma isibongo ke kodwa Maphisa ngishilo ukuthi ke igama ke lelo elihlanganiswa naye ke umsolwa wesine kodwa ke umthokoziseni lena angimtholanga.
And you have also testified, Brigadier, that the name Maphisa had already come up during the investigation by other officers before you came as an investigator in this matter, correct?
That is correct, my lord.
Ubusushilo ke ukuthi igama leli kaMaphisa ke igama ebese livelileke nangaphambilini kwelinye ithimba ke leli elaliphambi kwenu ke elaliphenya yebo kuyiqiniso lokho.
And would you have a statement in the docket relating to this aspect of the name of Maphisa coming up, having been followed, and what happened after that?
Yes, there is a statement by the previous IO, Lieutenant Colonel Mtetwa. It's in the docket to that effect. I approached it because, as I said, when I saw the name, it was just on the investigation diary, but it was clear what is contained. And I approached the previous investigating officer, the initial one, and she disposed an affidavit to that effect. It is available, my lord.
Ingaba sikhona yini ke istatement ke esikhuluma ngalo lo daba lolo ke mayelana ke negama leli Maphisa yebo sikhona ke ngaya kuyena ke owayephenya ke icala uLieutenant Colonel Mthethwa futhi ke wasenza istatement mayelana nalokho siyingxenye yedokodo.
No, sorry. But was it this statement? Was it discovered
That's what I was saying.
Yes,
to the defense?
Indeed, my lord, it was discovered with the docket because it was collected by me before I even came to testify.
Okay.
I'll even find the index number and give it to them. It was discovered, my lord.
Siyingxenye ke sikhona abameli basinikwa ke leso statement leso sakhe uLieutenant Colonel Mthethwa.
I'll find it and be specific in terms of the index number, my lord. It is 217, the index number 8217. That is Angel Nkululeko Mthethwa. 8217.
8217 lawo kubhalwe ke Angel Nkululeko Mthethwa.
No, it's not. Yes, that's the one, my lord. Indeed, 8217. That's him. And it was discovered, my lord.
Okay.
Abameli basinikezwa leso statement leso.
Okay. Now,
Just to put the right context, my lord, it was commissioned on November the 2nd, 2020. The 2nd of November, year 2020, my lord.
Uma sibekwa ke istamp noma si-commissioner kwako nge-2 kaNovember 2020.
okay. Now, accused number 2 had already testified in the trial within the trial, and he has stated the following, that he does not know Maphisa before the 27th of October 2020. He only met him at the Boksburg Magistrates Court when they appeared together, the 5 accused before court, for the first time in the Boksburg Magistrates Court.
No, but that's not correct, my lord. If you look at, for example, the statement, and I don't want to venture out of what Mr. Ramsikule led me on, the statement of Sifiso Zungu, it is clear that happened before the appearances of the 27th of October 2020. If you read Zungu's statement, Sifiso Zungu, they knew each other. If you read the statement of Makrosonke, I'm just sticking to what we've discussed, me and Mr. Ramsikule, the name Maphisa appears. If you read the statement of Ndwandwe, my lord, which is also disclosed to the defense, there was interaction between Mr. Ndwandwe, Mr. Maphisa, and communication that were directed to accused 2. So that is correct. If you look at the evidence that is in the docket, the statement that I'm referring to, they do indicate that accused 2 knew Mr. Maphisa. In fact, he knew all the accused, my lord.
Yeah,
Based
but
on these statements.
fine, but for this purpose of this court, were those statements discovered?
Yes,
All of them?
They were discovered, my lord,
Okay.
and this one of Sifiso Zungu is the one that I said Mr. Ramsikile led me to it. Mr. Sifiso Zungu, who is Kwabeni, it was discovered. The one that I'm referring to, it was discovered. It was also amongst the statements of Jack Buthelezi, who came to testify in this court, and together with, what is this other name? The other Zungu guy that I referred to, but they were discovered, my lord.
Akusilona-ke iqiniso lelo uma ngabe-ke umsolo wesibili ethi-ke uMaphisa-ke akamazi uma eqala-ke ukuhlangana naye noma uqale-ke ukumazi ngeyi-27 zika-October 2020 ngathi-ke bebingelela imantshi bonke enkantolo yase-Boksburg. Lelo-ke akusilona iqiniso ngoba-ke uma ngabe ufunda-ke istatimende sakhe uSifiso Zungu, ufunda istatimende sakhe uMakhosonke uNdwandwe, kwakhona-ke uxhumano kwakukhona-ke phakathi kwaNdwandwe kanye futhi naye-ke uMaphisa, naye-ke futhi umsolo wesibili-ke ukhulumile nangaye-ke uJack Buthelezi. Usho ukuthi-ke la ekushoyo khona-ke ukuthi-ke ebemazi umsolo wesine kanye futhi-ke nabo bonke nje abanye abasolwa ubewazana nabo.
My Lord, may I approach at least?
Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you, Madam Indebted. Now, Brigadier Belinda, in response to a question that accused number 2 says he does not know Maphisa before the 27th of October, you mentioned statements and names of people. Have those people, for example, testified in this court about that?
I do know Jack Buthelezi testified, my lord. Sifiso Zungu, as I said, you asked me about it, my lord, to be specific. That's why I said I don't want to venture out of what I was asking this court. That's why I confined myself to Sifiso Zungu, Makhosonke, because we dealt with those in terms of the statements in this court from you yourself.
Kumbuzo-ke ngikubuze wona-ke ukhuluma-ke ngey'tatimende washo-ke amagama abantu. Ngabo labo bantu labo bashoyo-ke bethulile ubufakazi yini kule nkantolo? Yebo, uSifiso Zungu, uJack Buthelezi ngiyazi-ke, ingakho-ke ngishilo-ke ukuthi angifuni ukuthi ngiphumeke kumbuzo-ke lo ongibuza wona-ke, ingakho-ke bengikhuluma-ke ngalamagama-ke aboMakhosonke, kodwa ngiyazi uSifiso Zungu kanye naye uJack Buthelezi babuthulile ubufakazi.
No, only Jack Buthelezi. Sifiso Zungu didn't testify.
Oh, sorry, it's Sifiso, not Constable.
No. Sifiso is another one.
Okay, sorry,
He didn't
I'm just
testify.
confused. Sorry, I'm just. Oh, uSifiso Zungu-ke akabuthulanga ubufakazi, ngiyaqoliseka ngicabanga uSifiso Zungu, uConstable Zungu akusiyena-ke umuntu oyedwa, uJack Buthelezi kuphela umuntu othule ngobufakazi.
And Jack Buthelezi, when he testified in this court, he specifically testified about a narrow aspect whereby he met accused number 2 after accused number 2 had appeared in court in the Tlhabane Magistrates Court, and he gave accused number 2 money to buy toiletries because at the time accused number 2 had not received family visits so that they can bring him toiletries and things to bath with. He did not testify about accused number 2 knowing accused number 4, Mr. Maphisa.
I don't think that is entirely correct.
We'll remember that he made a volte-face after testifying. It's a matter that should rather be left for argument.
Yeah.
Now, further on this point regarding accused number 2's prior knowledge, interaction, communication, or otherwise with accused number 3, 4, and 5 specifically. Accused number 2 says, I only met accused number 3, accused number 4, accused number 5 for the first time on the 27th of October 2020 when we appeared together for the first time in this matter in the Boksburg Magistrates Court.
But that's not correct, my lord. That is why I said the statement of Kwabeni, Sifiso Zungu, places all the accused in the same company where they were talking, in the hostel. It's in that statement of Sifiso Zungu. It is further corroborated by Constable Zungu, who also says the same thing. Makosonke, in particular with accused number 2, also places him around that period. In fact, Makosonke, my lord, in that statement, accused to confess to him privately for being involved in the murder of Senzo Meibo. Or it is alleged by that statement, to put the right context, that he confessed to him, my lord.
Sorry, Mr. Nomalo is standing up.
Thank you, my lord, for the recognition. I'm having a problem, my lord, where the witness is referring to affidavits of witnesses whose evidence has not been tested before this court.
Is that the criteria?
For instance, just now, he just gave evidence
Yeah, no, that's why I'm asking.
of what is contained in that statement.
Is that the criteria that if a witness has made a statement and he hasn't testified in this court, the brigadier, in terms of the law, IUMLEV is not allowed by law to mention that exigency, despite the fact that that statement has been discovered. If it has not been discovered, it's clear. They can't refer to it. Because the assumption in terms of the law is that that information you would not know because it's not discovered. But if the docket is discovered, it is assumed that you read the docket. The fact that you don't call Mokgoatlheng to come and testify having made a statement, it's neither here or there, unless I'm wrong.
I'm having a problem, my lord, where the witness mentioned what is contained in the affidavit before this court under
No,
cross-examination.
you can test it under your cross-examination.
For instance, my lord, we have been told by the state that this is the last witness. Now he mentions other people.
So what should I do?
Seeking
You want the
what is
ruling, sir?
contained.
You want the ruling on that aspect?
No,
No, the law allows it. Like Kelly, for instance, it's been mentioned here, he did A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I don't know, because you don't discover anything to me. But Mr. Brigadier Gininda says he said this and this and this in the statement. I don't know. But you are at liberty to contradict that by bringing evidence to show that Kelly was somewhere in Hollywood when they say she made a statement. Yes.
Another point of contention here is that this witness is allowed to bring through the back door hearsay evidence. And we all know what the basis of hearsay evidence is. The state must stand up and make an application that, my lord, I am aware that this is hearsay evidence, but I'm requesting that it be provisionally accepted pending the calling of the witness whose credibility that information rests.
You are right.
But the state does not do that.
You are right.
Yes.
But this evidence is being elicited under cross-examination. That's the difference.
But
Wait,
nonetheless, yes.
He is being cross-examined.
Yes, my lord.
And then he answers.
Yes, my lord. But my lord, nonetheless, hearsay evidence is
You can argue
inadmissible in terms
you
of the
can argue
legislation.
thereafter that what he was saying is hearsay evidence, fine. But you can't accuse a witness of answering and then you say you're not supposed to answer the way you're answering because it's hearsay evidence.
But again, my lord, the rules are very clear. Hearsay evidence is not admissible unless the state, as I'm saying, stands up and say, I'm making application that be provisionally accepted pending the calling of the witness whose veracity statement relies.
Okay, fine, no, but I differ with you. There's a case of State versus Lepoko.
Yes.
It's a judgment by Unterhalter. Just read that judgment. It was delivered in 2019.
Yes.
SCA.
And another thing that I've noted, my lord, is that hearsay evidence is actually not elicited under cross-examination, but it is because of this unwarranted elucidation by this witness. It's just allowed to
You
do
can't-
whatever
you can't
they
get
want
away from the
without
fact that-
any control, man.
You can't get away from the fact that this witness is under cross-examination.
He's under cross-examination, but he keeps on explaining things that have not been asked, man.
You
If
are
I
right.
were me,
You can argue that, no problem.
thank you, man.
You can argue that, fine.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr.
Can we also say
Hey.
our piece regarding this matter? With the greatest of respect, Advocate Mnisi is wrong as far as the law is concerned. If, and these are the rules of cross-examination, if in cross-examination you elicit hearsay evidence, that is the only exception. It's one of the exceptions under which hearsay evidence is it can be accepted. Now, Mr. Ramusepile asks the witness, accused says, or puts it to the witness, accused who says he only met accused 3 and 5 for the first time on the 27th of October 2020 at Boksburg Magistrate Court. Now, the witness simply answers that and says, no, that is not correct. And he mentions all the relevant places where their names are mentioned. There's nothing wrong with it. That's what they elicited in cross-examination.
Okay, yes, Mr. Ramsey, let's go.
My lord, I don't understand which hearsay have I elicited when I say I put a proposition that my client will come and tell the court that I met accused 3, 4, and 5 for the first time on the 27th of October 2020 at the Boksburg Magistrate Court for the first appearance of this man. How can that be hearsay elicited by me?
You know what? I don't want to get into the merits of this case.
Yes.
But bear in mind the defense which was placed in this court
Yes.
about the cell phone evidence. That I was at such and such a place and number so and so gave me a lift. He was driving a Kumbi, was driving this. I don't want to get into that. Okay, you've heard me.
Yes, my lord. And my lord, as well as I've been very cordial to the witness to say, as they ask it, I think now I'll.
No,
also-
fine. Look,
Yes.
you have a right to cross-examine.
Yes.
And then your client is going to get into the box and dispute that evidence. And you can argue which version the court should take or accept, whatever. But this witness, unless he's telling fables or he's lying when he says the statement was discovered, that's why this court is asking, was that statement discovered? And then he says it was discovered. And you, the defense, you don't say no, it's wrong. You keep quiet. Because you're entitled to say he is not telling the truth, Brigadier Gininda, when he says this statement was discovered. Let him show us the copy. You don't say that. You just pass. What must I do?
My lord, in fact, regarding that, let me clarify that. We were given a list of about 12 witness statements. And in those statements, they said these are the secret witnesses. Their personal particulars, names, addresses, cell numbers were redacted. So when you read that statement, you don't know if this is Fiso, if this is Kwabeni, if this is so and so. That's the context of the 12 statements that we received. The ones that I personally received, I can't talk for my learned colleagues, man. So I don't know Fiso's statement, Kwabeni's statement from those statements that compartment of statements that we were.
But the man, when he writes a statement, he says, I, Mokgoatlheng, swear under oath that I am a chef. I'm employed at cafe so and so. I was born on such and such a date. I, Mokgoatlheng, was present when Ms. Mshololo cooked an Epicurean meal of potatoes and this and that and that. This is how the statement goes. The guy identifies himself and describes himself as so and so. Are you with me?
Ask for a 5 minutes adjournment just for the defense to.
Yeah, maybe, because...
Thank you, ma'am. Just 5 minutes, ma'am.
What's your time then? Although that gentleman says we mustn't adjourn. So what time should I come? Okay. Where, what time?
My Lord, it's 10 to 11 now. We can resume at 11.
Okay, fine.
Thank you, my Lord.
Right.